Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot. This is a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Mars. This is a reading that is mostly valid for November 2021, but you can also use this reading whenever it finds you or you find this reading. So take what resonates and what you don't need, leave the rest here. I did this earlier in German on my German speaking channel. If you want to follow that, then you find the information in the description box below. That's the reason why the cards are out, and I will get started with a general energy in the beginning, and in the second part of the reading there will be a love and love relationship situation, so stick with me. In the end of the reading I will also draw some charms exclusively for the English speaking reading, and I will talk a little bit about the astrology, but as I said, this is a timeless reading. So let's get started. This is very intense. Cancer, this is a beautiful reading. I see a huge spiritual quantum leap for you. I think it's not even quantum leap, it's probably the wrong word. It is a spiritual strengthening, maturing of an inner realization. I think that is not new, but that you are mastering. There is a big element of mastery here. We have a Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. We have the Hermit, the Hanged Man, and the High Priest or the Hierophant, who is the spiritual representative in this world. The Hermit, the Hanged Man, and the Hierophant are three highly spiritual cards, and that's your general energy this month. So you're coming in here with the Hermit, which is in this deck, of course, a wise person that knows how to instrumentalize being by himself or herself and making the most creative out of it. Also being content in his solitude and being productive. It's a card of fruitfulness, of creativity, of also, for me, it's a card, I like to call it quality time with yourself. So when you do the things you really enjoy doing by yourself, when you work on the things you really enjoy working on by yourself, creative projects, very creative card. He has a wand in his hand. In other decks, in this particular deck, there is a sperm here, which talks about being fertile, fruitful, bringing things outward, being creative also. He has the cosmic egg here, which means he understands the secrets of manifestation, of material manifestation, of life. And he is carrying the lantern here, and he is also taming the hellhound Cerberus, which is his ability to not let the dark forces control him in his moments of being by himself, in his loneliness, which is not meant to be a bad thing, but in his aloneness, I want to say. So very fruitful, creative, productive card. Also is also standing for Virgo. So maybe you're working on a routine, on a creative routine, on a routine when it comes to your body, because we have the Hanged Man here, and the Hanged Man again looking deeper within himself, so through constriction, through maybe feeling like not being able to move out of a situation. But in this case it's very voluntary. I feel like you're really voluntarily putting yourself in a very disciplined position to work on your spiritual growth. It really seems like you are really putting this onto yourself. With the Hanged Man, that's why it's also a yoga card. We do work on our body. We can also work on expanding and growing strength by restricting ourselves. That's what we do with workouts. We basically put weights on ourselves. We push weights. We push against something. We push against something that is actually constraining us, constricting us. And that's what the Hanged Man is also doing. He's putting himself in a position, or he has been put in a position. The question is, what is his responsibility, shared responsibility as well, to be in this position? And that is part of the realization he's having in this moment. That's part of the whole idea of this card, to understand, to find a different perspective on his position and why he is in there. But in this reading, this so much feels like you're putting yourself in a position of constraint, maybe of isolation, maybe you're working on something really disciplined to gain more depth and spiritual understanding of yourself and be able to see things from a different perspective. And really, I feel like you're really trying to invite a spiritual transformation by sticking to a spiritual practice, and by sticking to and committing, because the Hermit also, and Virgo is also about commitment in a way, committing to go deeper within yourself, to work deeper with your body, with your spirit, with the things you create with yourself, that come out of yourself, that are self-sustainable, that are not so much inspired by or triggered by or or made with other people, that are more coming from the depth within yourself. So we have this, I get a really strong like artist, performance artist kind of vibe, feel, where there is so much performance art where people put themselves and their body into extreme situations, you know. It's kind of, I get that. I get you trying to really feel out the boundaries. How far can you go? How far can you stretch when it comes to a spiritual commitment and practice, and how it has some extreme vibe here. You're coming out of this with a mastering, I think, a mastery of your own beliefs, a very stable position when it comes to what you believe in and how you want to live it in the world. That's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual practitioner in the outward world. He is also the teacher. Maybe you're even teaching some things you've learned. Maybe you're, you know, I get strong yoga teacher vibes here, and really strong practice to be able to master something, to teach it. Or it's plain and simple, just you finding deeper truths, deeper spiritual truths and different perspectives on situations. So now you're stepping more and more into a position of power when it comes to your beliefs, when it comes to your spiritual beliefs and how you want to live them, when it comes to your traditions, when it comes to maybe your religious beliefs, and when it comes to a practice, a daily practice or a very regular practice on how you want to live your beliefs. That's the Hierophant. This is a really, really, really fascinating reading, I have to say. These three cards coming out together in this combination, there is a big element of mastery going on, of growth, of that's a whole new level, you know. That's a whole new level of doing things, and such a focus on going deeper within yourself and figuring out and strengthening even more what you believe in and how you want to live it. And this is not new. This is, I don't think, I mean, this combination of cards, I don't think this is something where you just jump into spiritual practice for the first time. This seems very advanced, you know. This seems very like, okay, I'm going in again, and I'm going further, and I'm working out more details. Because when it comes to a relationship situation, this comes through very strongly, and I feel like you do understand on a whole different level that before you are not stable within yourself, and you're not able to put all the work and discipline within yourself. Also, you will not attract the kind of person that you want to attract, or you cannot expect the same from your opposite or the other person. Because we have the Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles here, and that's the again, super focused on how to get results, what to better and what to perfect even, and what to master. Seven of Pentacles in a relationship or in a love situation or in relationships in general really speaks about looking at what worked, what didn't work, where are the failures, where are the errors, and how can we define them, spot them. That's the process of the Seven of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is exactly getting rid of those errors, or trying to focus the energy on the stuff that is still lacking or missing, and mastering something. And it's very self-disciplined, very focused energy, where we put our energies into the things and environments that are important. It's not just like working for the sake of working. It's really working on the details and being very detail oriented, and putting the resources into the right corners as well. It's very advanced, and I think this is what you do also when it comes to your love life, your relationship life. You're very focused on yourself, but at the same time, I think this is projecting also, see, this is how much worth I give myself, this is how much worth I can also give to another person, and this is how much discipline and how much effort I can come up with. I think you're really showing. I think if you're not in a close relationship, then I think you're really trying to present yourself, or not trying to present. I think you're just, that's where you are at right now. You're very focused on being disciplined with yourself, working on yourself and on your spiritual development. And I think that really transcends to the other person. This other person is really trying to learn. If there's a specific person, they're trying to learn about you. They see you as some mirroring kind of energy, because this Cancer dice is coming through. So I think they're really trying to learn about you, more about you. If this is a new connection, they are trying to understand you better. They might be looking at you on social media. This is the Stalker card, the Page of Swords. Or they are trying to just understand in general more about love and relationships. They're curious, they're open. Normally the Page of Swords is also communicative, investigative. They want to learn, they want to know more, they want to understand more. And with the Cancer dice, I think it's really they want to see and learn and understand more about you. I think you might be holding back with communication, or you might not be with the Queen of Swords. There's a timing element. There is either especially in reverse, either you're holding back information, or you're not saying it the way you want to say it. I get a strong holding back communication. Be careful that there is not a passive aggressive sort of moment going on, situation going on, and also be careful that you're not holding back communication because you think you're not there yet. I mean, if you're not there yet for a connection or for moving on in a connection, then that's okay, but I think you should communicate it in an open, compassionate way, and not maybe in a more like passive way, if you know what I mean. Not necessarily aggressive, but passive way. So there is definitely an element of timing, as I said, and the cards want to tell me, like, okay, be careful of the right timing when you say something, because the Queen of Swords in reverse, sometimes she says things too soon or too late or too harshly or too something, she doesn't, it's not very balanced when she's in reverse. This other person, I mean, they have a good attitude. They might be even popular or in the public eye somehow. Maybe there's a lot of people who are paying attention to them, but they're really trying to learn about you. Maybe they're not showing that so much to you, but I think that's what they really are. I think they're in a good place in their life, which is a good thing. Maybe they just had a moment of success or achievement for themselves. That doesn't necessarily have to be a public thing, but it can be. At the same time, still, with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse, I think this month it might be a little difficult to start a solid or to plant a solid seed in this connection, a new branch or a solid beginning. This can be in an existing connection. It can be a new branch, you know, where you're like, well, we kind of need to start something new. There's an opportunity for us to build something, to grow something. So we have a common little project here with the Ace of Pentacles. Or it can be plain and simple in a new connection, like, okay, we cannot ground this relationship right now, or this connection. It's not the right time. As I said, with the Queen of Swords, there's a timing thing. You're working on stuff. By the end of the month, you might know better if you want to commit to this or not, or what you want to commit to. And I think now is not the time to really plant a solid seed. Now is more the time to feel it out and to work on yourself and to concentrate on yourself. And I think you're really doing the right thing here. With the Taking Up Arms card as a advice card, this is a really beautiful card that's coming out with all this working energy, with all these disciplined energy. It's so much discipline here. So it's saying, it's an earth card in this deck, and it's saying acceptance of responsibility as an expression of evolution. I love that. Fearlessness, position of strength and self-discipline. It's incredible that this is coming out. Oh, so good. So good. This reading is so good. There's such a spiritual evolvement, evolution. It's a spiritual evolution, really, what you're going through right now, through putting in the work and putting it in a very smart, sophisticated way with the Eight of Pentacles. We have Saturn coming through, so Saturn is definitely speaking about doing the groundwork, going to the roots of problems and figuring out what really needs to be weeded out, you know, when it comes to your spiritual development and what's holding you back and maybe what's restricting you. And even looking at those restrictions is something helpful. That's what I really see. Because Saturn is that kind of planet who makes it harder for us to make us stronger. I know it is not always comfortable. This is the planet where we sometimes feel like we will, or we might break underneath. But that's what I also mentioned in the German reading. It's like these boundaries that we set or get set for us that make us push against, like pressure creates diamonds kind of situation. Of course, we can break under pressure. I'm not saying if you're sensitive, if you suffer from PTSD, anxiety, anything that is not allowing you to don't overstress yourself, don't overextend. But I think this is really the moment where you're learning again, where are my boundaries? How can I use boundaries and discipline and a system and a construct of rules to challenge myself and make myself stronger. Also when it comes to my beliefs, and when it comes to my spiritual beliefs, and how can I therefore evolve into a more sophisticated, civilized, higher version of myself here with the 8th house. Also, this is groundbreaking progress. 11th house is Aquarius, so that's revolutionary, groundbreaking, forward-thinking. I want to say progressive. No, progressive is the wrong word. Oh yeah, progressive. You could use progressive. Just very forward-thinking, creative, revolutionary ideas. And I think those can only come out of testing boundaries, of testing borders, of testing and questioning the status quo, and finding the right amount of how far you can push and where it's enough. There is definitely an element of pushing, and I think you're putting yourself under that pressure to really strengthen yourself. It has a strong yoga feel for me, but when you do power yoga, that's what you do. You know, you really push yourself, and you figure out how far and when you can go how far. So if you're working with your body right now, it's a big opportunity, I think, to work with your body, because you have Virgo here, you have this yoga card, the Hanged Man, and you have Saturn here that also speaks about earth element in the body, and Capricorn, and then we have Taurus here. So there's so much earth here, and we have this 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. So it's really about manipulating the physical and figuring out the boundaries with that. And the body, obviously, of course, is also the physical. Can also be about money, but I think it's really body related. So it's a mind, body, spirit connection. Spirit body connection very strongly here. So let's also pull some charms. I love this reading. Cancer, this reading, I love this reading. This is so good. And it has to do, and I didn't even mention it, I think, or did I mention it, with the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, of course. So everything also can, you coming to a completion. Everything can go that doesn't serve you anymore, and you're really pushing the boundaries here of how far can you go. And that's what the lunar eclipse also does. How far can we go, and what is too much, and what needs to break free also. All right, that's kind of confusing. Normally when I draw the charms, then it's very clear, but I have to really make sense out of it. So yeah, full moon circle is a big deal. Also brings you back. I think this is really building up the last 3 months, if not to half a year for you. This full moon lunar eclipse, this is something that's been on your mind for a while, this moon cycle. And I mean, of course, Cancer, the moon is your ruler. So for you, these eclipses are a different kind of story and bring you into a different, and that makes so much sense that it brings you into the physical so much, into your body so much, into the worldly. How do I live my material world? Because it's an earth moon, and it's an earth moon eclipse, and the eclipses for you are just more intense. Yes, there is something coming to full circle here. Also speaking about the circles of the moon archetypal female energy, feminine energy. Important when it comes to communication. I think communication here is the only issue I see, really. Or issue in a sense of make sure that you're as transparent as you can, even though the truth might be uncomfortable for people. That's what I hear. Or the communication might be uncomfortable for you also. So, transformation in love. There is a transformatory element through finding a different perspective within yourself when it comes to love, very strongly. I love this because this is the oxidized Venus charm for me. It's a copper that's oxidized. And if you see that color from the oxidized thing, it's the same color. Then the Venus color, which is another beautiful thing, this green, is the color of Venus, and we do have the jade stone here as well, same color. So there is something going on when it comes to how you see love and relationships and love in general, but relationships and romantic love also. All right, so this connection is a little confusing, I feel like. And therefore, maybe you're really concentrating on yourself and putting a lot of focus on yourself and a lot of work on yourself and self-love through discipline also. The Hug Me charm. This is a connection that's definitely sexually stimulating to you, but there is loose attachment and the clean slate, which I really like, very innocent still. There's a very clean slate when it comes to being attached to this, which is really nice. There's a lot of energy from both people to want to move this forward, but maybe not just yet. And it's more important now to figure out who the other person is and to show yourself for both of you, I think. It's not so grounded right now. It's not very clear how to plant the seed, but I think there is the focus on this connection, and at the same time there is the will to invest and to focus on it. We have here the fluorite, which is my focus charm, and we have a third eye opening. This person has a realization also. They start seeing you for what you are more, I think, and themselves in this connection, and they want to invest, but they also want to do it in a very independent way. They don't want to, it's healthy, they have a good attitude towards it, because there is this investment, liberty coin, and liberty, I mean, that's a good word, you know, to stay in your independence at the same time. It's a good thing. I see this as a really nice connection that is slowly coming together. Maybe you're drawing a person in who has that mindset of being a little airy and free, but at the same time is willing to invest. But I don't think this is gonna be the month where you can already put in, you know, the groundwork. I think this is more like a inner work that both of you are doing. This other person is trying to get to know you better and understand you better, and therefore also gaining more insight and also having more spiritual insight and understanding about themselves and seeing things for what they are, which is nice. There is no deceptive energy. There's no, the more, I mean, I don't see you being in a deceptive energy with the Queen of Swords. It's more like there's something off with communication. With the Queen of Swords in reverse from your side. Maybe you're not sure what to say. Maybe you're not sure yet about where you stand, and therefore you're holding back. I think if that's what it is, you know, that's what it is. Just be careful that you're not hurting a situation. I don't necessarily see that. It's just something that's coming through that the cards want me to say. So, dear Cancer, I love this reading. This has so much information and it's so full of development. There's so much development and so much mastery in this. I love this for you. I hope that you are helped with this, that there is some insight you gained, and I hope that you come back next time. Please, please, please like, subscribe, comment. It's really important because it really helps me to grow this channel, and I would love to grow this channel more. So thanks for being here, thanks for supporting, and I hope I'll talk to you soon. Bye.